Hello and welcome to Eurocharged Boston. Today we have a GT graph that we've posted to social media and we've got a ton and tons of questions about it, so we thought we'll make this quick video to clarify a few things. First of all, you've noticed the huge gain of this car. Now, we would like to clarify that this car is not being pushed, and the reason why this car is gaining tremendously, it is a GT based model. It's a 2017 GT period, nothing after GT. These cars are detuned from the factory significantly because the platform, the turbos, the engine is exactly copy paste what you would find in the GTS. Uh, just Mercedes detunes it to make 460 or 470 horsepower, whatever the number is, whereas in the GTS it makes 500 and some change. But keep in mind, this is exactly the same engine. Nothing is different except the Mercedes tuning, just to make it an entry level GT and sell it for cheaper. So think of this car as a GTS, and we're tuning the GTS and gaining. But because it's detuned from the factory, that's why you see these feeble numbers in the blue line, which are the stock level factory numbers. Just like any other Mercedes, it does read a little bit higher, and here we need to clarify the difference between wheel horsepower and crank horsepower. Obviously, the dyno is measuring at the wheel. So if you consider these numbers with a 15% convergence rate or a drivetrain loss, you will notice that these are a little bit higher than the advertised numbers by Mercedes. In any case, from this number, we are gaining into the GTS level, and then we're tuning the car and we're gaining tremendously. You see the car peaking significantly around 4,000 RPM, 4,200 RPM or so, and then losing torque while the horsepower continues to build, but you're tapering off, and that's simply because of the turbo sizing. If the car has aftermarket turbos, you will notice that the boost will build a little bit later, and the line will be curved this way a little bit more, but it will continue to build and almost never taper off until you get to the end of the rev range. The other question we got, so hopefully this explains why this car is gaining so much, because it's detuned from the factory, not because we're pushing it or abusing it with extra power. These are the numbers you would typically see on a tuned GTS. So effectively, we are bringing the GT output to the GTS level and then some because it's being tuned. The other question we heard a lot recently is, well, what is the difference between the dyno tuning and the flash tuning, the regular stage one? The stage one tune that we send over the mail or handheld or we do at the shop in Waltham is going to be a little bit less than the dyno. The dyno tuning will allow us to have actual feedback from the car, confirming how everything's running. We can log the car, we can look at numbers, and confirm that the car is ready for the extra power. But nonetheless, actually on this car, for the purpose of this video, I actually started with a baseline graph, which is the blue line in here, and I created this graph actually. So you're looking at now the factory numbers in green, and the flash tune is in blue right here, and then the red line is the dyno tune. So as you can see, we're gradually gaining power. This is what you would gain with a remote tune without a dyno tune. The dyno tune is going to gain a little bit more, but that's not to say the stage one tune is not worth getting. Keep in mind the cost of throwing the car on a dyno, the customization on a dyno is significant. A custom stage one tune is going to be made to the coding of your car. It's still custom because you need to care about the coding of the car. You need to flash the car for the immobilizer, VIN, all of that good stuff. In Mercedes, there's no copy paste files. I wish it was. We would have, as a company, we would have been a lot more successful, but well, wealthier. But everything needs to be custom made. The difference in here is there is 3 or 4 extra hours involved in dyno tuning the car and creating a custom map for the output of the car while you're running it on the dyno, customizing a little bit. That will yield the extra 30 horsepower. That's not to say that is a small number. This is very noticeable. So both products are valuable. It depends on your resources, how much you want to spend on the tune, and how accessible the dyno is to you. It may be worth it to get a dynoed, but this is not to downplay the stage 1 tune that you would get out of a handheld. So hopefully this clarifies the difference between the different products we have and what to expect from a GT and GTS. GTC and GTR will gain a little bit more because, and they will start a little bit higher because they have larger turbos and lower compression engine, an engine with spec for higher output. But nonetheless, the ratio of stock to tuned is going to be similar. All of these cars have a lot of room to play and can be tuned for significantly higher horsepower and torque. The car really is transformed when you tune it. So if you have any questions, please email us or call us. We're happy to talk to you and discuss the details about your particular car, what is the expectations, and what you should get out of the tuning. We're always here to help. Enjoy. Good luck.